Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got an excellent show for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, as you guys know, the Lakers have been going through a pretty difficult stretch over the last few games. They had lost 3 games in a row. Yesterday, we produced some shows that were centered on some of the conversations surrounding Luka. I don't like some of the stuff that was being said, and I'm like, if you're a Laker fan, why are you being so critical of Luka Doncic so early? The guy just got there. He's a franchise-altering caliber player, so why are you complaining about him? Yeah, why are you complaining about him? This guy is not. He's an unrestricted free. He could still walk this summer, and you got people out here complaining. Luka ain't this. Luka. I'm like, are you crazy? Luka walks. Who do you have left? LeBron James, who's going to retire in the next year or two? Who do you have left? So what was the purpose of all of this? And then some Laker fans had to make it clear to me in the comment section, like, look, these are not Laker fans that are doing this. These are LeBron James fans. This has nothing to do with Laker fans. Laker fans are not this critical of Luka. LeBron James fans are. In fact, Laker fans would be more hopeful about Luka, given the fact that there have been reports about his health and all of that stuff, his conditioning, his habits. So I'm like, I didn't get that, right? So we produced that video. It dropped yesterday. And then, no, right before we produced the video, a bit of news came out that Luka was going to be missing yesterday's game or last night's game against the Denver Nuggets. Now, once I heard that news, well, I thought that Denver was going to win the game regardless if Luka played. But once I heard that news, I thought it was going to be a foregone conclusion. So I was like, I'm not really going to watch this game. So I think I tuned in around the second quarter of the game. I caught bits and pieces of it, but I'm like, Denver's going to win this game. Then I later on heard that, I think the Lakers started off the game with an 11-point lead. And then I think at one point I was watching the game, Denver went up by 11. So I left the game alone, right? And then something told me just come back and check the game a little bit later on League Pass. And I looked, and I think it was like a 1-point game. And I was like 101, 102 or something. I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Right? So I'm watching the game, and it's turning into this tug of war, right? This tug of war when I was like, bro, is Denver about to lose this game? Because if they lose this game, this would be an embarrassment to the high heavens if they lost this game to the Lakers, who had so many missing players like Rui Hachimura, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, just to list a few of them. And I'm like, are they going to lose this game? But then ultimately, towards the end of the game, Jamal Murray hits a big 3. And I think coming off, was it a double screen or so? I remember the play exactly. And then the Lakers had an opportunity to try to hit a 3 and then an inbound, they were trying to inbound the ball, and then Russell Westbrook shot the passing lane, and he was able to get a steal and went down and dunked the ball, and that was essentially all they wrote. And they ended up winning the game by 5 points. Yes, they ended up winning the game by 5 points, right? So I was then beginning to react to the aftermath of what took place, where they are in the standings now, and some of my takeaways from the game. And I'm like, okay, this would be an interesting show to talk about today. So let's get into that now. Let's first of all look at the box score. The Lakers had some players that put on a great show. Dalton Connect finished the game with 32 points on 48% shooting from the field, 50%. But he didn't shoot too well from the. Well, he shot good enough. If that was the season average, he shot, or an average for 3, he shot 38.5%. That's good. In this NBA, that's good. But he hit 5 of his 13 threes. Jared Vanderbilt had 9.7 rebounds, 7 assists. Who else played well? Austin Reeves, the guy that some of these clowns are online talking about he's terrible and all of this. He scored 37 points in that game. He had 13 assists, 8 rebounds. How is Austin Reeves a bad player? And then the part that kills me is they're like, Austin Reeves didn't do more. What are you talking about? Is Austin Reeves even an all-star? What are y'all talking about? Yo, these dudes are they're just I don't even understand. They're just insane, man. These guys are just insane. Like, when they don't like somebody, they just be thinking of anything. So now, what were you expecting from Austin Reeves, What were you expecting from him? The guy had 37 points on 50% shooting from the field, 40% shooting from 3. He hit all of his free throws. What do you want from him? Or you didn't have enough to bring it home. Anyway. Who else played well? Jordan Goodwin, he played well. I saw some of his minutes. Shake Milton, he actually played well as well. If you look at the Denver Nuggets side, Michael Porter Jr. had 13. Aaron Gordon, who I thought was going to be out for some number of games, he played. I was surprised to see that. He had 17. Nikola Jokic had 28 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds, although it wasn't a signature game for him. Christian Braun, he had a good game. Jamal Murray played well as well, and they had Russell Westbrook, who played well with 17 points. So they had a balanced attack. They had a lot of guys in double figures, but ultimately it was a close game, and it could have gone either way, right? It could have gone either way, but the Lakers ended up losing that game. So where does that put the Lakers right now? Well, if we look at the NBA standings, okay, the Lakers right now, I believe, are the 5th seed in the Western Conference. Yes, they are the 5th seed. And with them tumbling to the 5th seed, they've now lost 4 games in a row. And things are going to be getting a little bit tougher. Now, you notice I mentioned LeBron and Luka Doncic in the title. Luka was out, right? Luka was out. We don't know when he's going to come back. LeBron James, he's been out for a number of games. Actually, he was all smiles yesterday attending a game for his son. I think it was Bryce James who was playing a game yesterday. The video, I woke up and I saw it all over my Instagram there. So they've lost 4 in a row. So now they're tied for losses with the Rockets, the Grizzlies, and themselves. So right now, based on how the losses are looking, they could just pretty much oscillate between the 3 and 5 spot, depending on how those teams play. Why? Because from 6 to basically, from 6 to 8, the loss differential is just 2 losses, right? So in order for the Lakers to fall below the 6th seed, a few things would need to happen. One, they would need to keep losing, and the teams below them would need to keep winning. You have the Golden State Warriors. They've won 6 in a row. The Minnesota Timberwolves have won 7 in a row. And the Clippers have won 2 in a row. Now, if we look at the Lakers' schedule moving forward, they're going to be playing Phoenix on Sunday. Then on Tuesday, they have the Spurs, which they should be able to beat. And I think Luka should be back by then. Then they have the Nuggets again. And based off of how things went against the Nuggets, I wouldn't be surprised if they won that game. Then you have the Bucks. So they have a tough stretch, kind of, but these are all games that the Lakers should be able to win. So some people are a little bit fearful that the Lakers could continue to tumble down the standings. It's a possibility, but I don't see them falling that far down. Worst case scenario, they fall to the 6th seed, but I don't see them falling any further than that. I don't see that happen. Also, quick point to talk about JJ Redick. Y'all know I'm not a fan of JJ Redick, but I got to give credit where credit is due. JJ Redick did an excellent job yesterday coaching those guys. I thought they had no chance at all. So for him to be able to pull certain levers throughout that game and to keep it a competitive game, he did his thing, right? He made it a competitive game. Now, they ultimately lost, but given the fact of how shorthanded he was, that was still an impressive coaching job. He didn't win the game. Obviously, you don't get any points for, what do you call it? Brownie. I forgot, not brownie points, but I can't remember the expression. I'm actually kind of pissed off before shooting this video, so I'm trying to balance my emotions. But he doesn't get any. Obviously, he's not going to get any love for that, for coaching well in the game that they lost. But I think he did well. Ultimately, I think the Lakers are going to be able to weather the storm. I still think they're going to be in the playoff hunt, and I don't see them falling lower than the 6th seed. I could be wrong, but I don't see that happening, because it would just mean that they need to keep losing and all those teams need to keep winning. And I don't see that happening, because some of those teams are very inconsistent. And one of those teams is extremely inconsistent is the Clippers. The Clippers are very inconsistent and a big waste of time. But anyway, these are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We'll catch you on the next show. Peace.